Derek from Benton writes in, I'm 52 and own a small business. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time or resources focusing on my retirement because I've been putting that into my business. It's hitting me that this might have been a mistake. Is it too late for me? What should I do? Derek, thanks very much. And we have a small business owner right here next to me. So
Yes.
This is going to be a very easy question for you to kind of walk through. The first part is 52 is not too late. Let's go ahead and start with there.
Right.
Derek, it's never too late. Even if you're starting at ground zero. I have a client who is 56 years old, not starting at ground zero and not a small business owner, but just met with him last week. He's got about $300,000 saved for retirement. So he's got a little nest egg going there, but he wants to retire at 65. And when you think about that, your mind can really easily go, he's only got 9 years.
Yeah.
And how much does he need? And of course, his plan tells him how much he needs. But even in a 9-year window, you can run pretty hard if you have the income to do it, if you have the margin in your life to contribute to those investment accounts. 9 years is still a very long time. So I'm looking at Derek from Benton at 52, and again, we don't know his exact situation, but he still has some time.
Yeah. Yeah. And Derek, I would say that there are several things that you need to be thinking about. One of them is the future value of the business. It is very common to hear business owners, and I've done this in the past. I will tell you, I'm past this, and I will never say it again. But you hear business owners very often say, "Well, this is my baby," and they're not going to sell it. It's their baby. Your business is not your baby; it is an investment. And every investment has a lifespan. And you buy it at a certain point, or as a business owner, you create it at a certain point, if you will. But then there comes a point when you are no longer that business owner. And we need to begin thinking about what that liquidation event might look like. And is there going to be an opportunity for you to transition this to owners inside of the business that are already there with you currently? Would it be sold potentially to somebody beyond you? And if you're sitting there like most business owners and going, "Can't nobody run this place but me," well, I'm going to tell you, you're 52 and you have time to change that. And it would be one of the wisest things that you could do, because if you get it in a position where somebody else can run it and somebody else can make money, not off of your baby, but off of your investment, then if you get to that point, then you have created tremendous value. We're going to talk about the investment side. That's really what you asked about, more traditional investments, but your business is likely incredibly valuable. What got me to change this verbiage personally, I was watching a video online of Robert Herjavec. Most people will be familiar with that name from Shark Tank. And he talked about when he built his first business and he was getting ready to sell it, and it was a huge, huge deal. And he called the guy the night before they were supposed to sign the papers on the deal, and he said, "I can't sell this. It's my baby. I can't do it." And the guy goes, "What do you mean it's your baby? That's not your baby. Like, your baby is like your kids. This is not your baby. This is an investment. And every investment has a lifespan." And really encouraged him to think about that in that way. So I don't want you to ignore the value that your business holds. So that's a big soapbox of mine that Scott is seeing play out here at GenWealth as we prepare for the next generation. It's still a good ways down the road for us, but we're preparing that group now for that opportunity in the future. But Scott, let's take a little bit of time to talk about some more traditional investment opportunities that Derek would have as a business owner.
Yeah, and we don't have any idea how he has structured his business, whether it's an LLC or an S corp, or whether he's just 1099 his way through this. But obviously, if he spent whole lot of time and resources focusing on his small business, chances are he's structured it in a way where he is probably an employee of the business, and he's the owner of the business. And if that's the case, there's a great opportunity to get some money into tax-deferred accounts. The easiest way, this is what we do here at GenWealth, and it's very, very easy to implement and start working for a small business, and that's a simple IRA. So when you talk about employer plans, You think of a 401k, that's typically used for larger companies. The simple IRA is for smaller companies, and the catch-up, or rather the contribution limits are a little bit less than a 401k, but they're getting pretty attractive. When you think about inflation has helped the IRS raise those over the last couple of years. So you can actually put up to $15,500 annually into a simple IRA. And in Derek's case, he's 52 years old, he tells us. If you've reached age 50, and that would be defined as if you turn 50 this year, you would be able to add to that $3,500. So when you think about that, that's $19,000 you can get into a simple IRA, which is tax-deferred growth account or a tax-deferred retirement account, which also allows you to reduce your taxable income as an employee. And then you can match the money on the employer side. 3% is the common match. I think that's even the maximum match, isn't it? You can go up to 3%. So you get 3% employer match, and the employer side actually benefits from tax deductions as well.
Right. So dollar for dollar match up to that 3% marker. And Derek, I would say if you're thinking, well, I don't know that I can do, $15,500. If your business has the cash flow, remember that you're the one who determines what you make. And so if you, as the business owner, go, okay, instead of just keeping retained earnings in the business of this amount of money, if I give myself a raise, then I am able to contribute to my simple, because a lot of business owners will underpay their own salaries relative to the value that they bring to the table. So I really want to challenge you to look at that. And if the business can afford for you to pay yourself what you are worthy of being paid as a business owner, then adjust that so that you can do the simple IRA contributions. And that's something that if you need somebody to help you set this up, that we do simples for our clients, for our business owners on a regular basis, so we can come out and help your team with that as well.
Let me circle back to another potential benefit of doing this is obviously we're focusing on Derek's retirement here. And I think of an employer that we work with. He's a client here. He has a business up in the Conway area, and he has, I'm not sure what he's up to as far as number of employees now, but it's several dozen. And he was very focused on his own retirement, but he was also very focused on a simple IRA plan for his business. And he has us come in from time to time, especially when he makes new hires, if he's made a handful of new hires, and we do an educational workshop on the benefits of those young guys coming in and starting to invest in their retirement. And guess what? There's data out there, Janet, that suggests that you're going to retain employees. If you are concerned about their financial health, their financial well-being, and their retirement, you're going to keep them. It shows that they want to stay with you because they have benefits and they have someone who cares.
Yeah, we're actually going through a process with our team right now at GenWealth of talking about personal, professional, and financial goals. And some people will say, well, what kind of business are my personal goals, to my employer? But we've had a lot of training on this before we dove into it, and it unites the team. There may be something that they don't want to share, and that's fine, but it unites the team in this unified purpose of moving forward. And that can include things like the simple IRA, that if they have financial goals like a retirement timeline and you are compensating them relative to their value, including a retirement plan, it really does strengthen that relationship. And Scott, we see regularly that, when these young people come in, and young people becomes a wider and wider term as the older we get, Scott. But as these young people come in to a working environment and have the opportunity to have a retirement plan that has a match on it in those early years, then their possibilities for their retirement in the future are just beyond what we could have fathomed in our early years as business owners.